Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our show. My name is Jack Lank. I'm with the United Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we're starting to do this weekly show to keep our members and the general public informed on different businesses that are out there and what we're all doing to get prepared for when we can reopen again. My guest today is Dottie Lebeau. Dottie Lebeau is a food safety consultant. And Dottie, what is a food safety consultant?
Well, the food safety consultant does a lot of things. In my profession, I teach the food safety classes for the people who work in commercial kitchens. So people who work in restaurants, schools, hospitals, nursing homes, assisted living, uh, they have to be certified in food safety every 5 years. So I teach the food safety classes, and I also do a lot of inspections. I retired from the Department of Health Office of Food Protection, where I was a state inspector, and I used to inspect all these commercial kitchens in the restaurants, schools, hospitals, nursing homes. So basically, that's what I do. But I also have expanded my business so that now I will actually go out with people who have a dream, and their dream is to start their own business. And I'll go out with them and meet with realtors, and I'll sit down with once they decide where they want to have their business. I'll do blueprints for them. I help them draw their kitchens so they can submit them to the health department to get them approved so they can start their construction. So I kind of wear a lot of different hats under that title.
And how do people need to come and take classes to be certified for food safety? Those are the new federal laws and state laws. Where do you hold your classes?
Right now, I hold a lot of them right there at the Chamber of Commerce. Yes, it's very centrally located for people in that area. It's right on and off the highway, so it's easy to find. And the people in Massachusetts aren't afraid to drive more than 15 minutes to get someplace. So I find it's a very convenient location for them. But I also teach at the Chamber of Commerce over in Fall River. And I also do private classes. So if an employer has 5 or 6 employees that they would like to get certified, then they can call me and we can set up a class right there in their own dining room.
And you can do that at different restaurants throughout Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Yes, Mass, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. I'm certified to teach in all 50 states, but I'm really not planning on going to Alaska to teach a class right now.
And what typically goes on during your class? What are the things that are so most important that they need to be informed and pass because there is a test, correct?
Oh, yeah, there's a national exam that they have to pass. Yeah, oh, yeah. Usually during the class, we talk about temperatures, cooking temperatures, holding temperatures, cooling temperatures. We talk about sanitation, personal hygiene. All of that comes into play because it's so important. You certainly don't want someone getting sick when they go out to eat in your kitchen. So we discuss a lot of that. We go over all the regulations, the new regulations that have gone into effect since the last time they were certified, since they only have to see me once every 5 years now.
And it's once every 5 years for all employees or managers. Who has to be certified?
Well, there has to be one person certified in each establishment. And usually it's the head chef or the manager, or sometimes it might be the owner. It depends. But the problem is if that person decides they want to take some time off or they run out to the bank and then the inspector walks in, well, the person who's left in charge, what we call the PIC, the person in charge, has to also be knowledgeable to be able to answer any questions that the inspector might have. So that's why a lot of places will now have more than one person certified in food safety.
You and I had a conversation once before. Is it, and I think you just alluded to it, that somebody has to be on the premises during working hours that is food safety certified. Is that correct?
Yes. If the inspector can walk in at any time, those are all surprise inspections. Nobody knows when the inspector is going to show up. So if the person who's got that piece of paper on the wall that says that they're certified in food safety isn't there, well, when the inspector starts asking questions, the person that's there while the food prep is going on has to be able to answer those questions. And usually the only way they can is if the certified manager has done a good job training the other employees, or if the person is certified themselves.
Well, we have a lot of local restaurants within our coverage area because we do cover the 16 communities from Seekonk to Franklin. And I know that you've held many classes here at our office. There's an awful lot of folks that come in to get certified. How do they find out when your classes are?
Well, I have a website that they can go out to, and it lists all the classes, and I'm constantly updating the website. So for people to just look at it once in the beginning of the year, that isn't really good, because all throughout the year I'm constantly adding classes. And of course, after what we've just been through now, all these classes that I've had to postpone will now be rescheduled. So people are going to have to go out to my website to see where and what days and times that I'm going to be rescheduling a lot of these classes.
Okay, well, you just mentioned, with all these new regulations, and I don't think we've even seen what the restrictions are going to be when the states allow us to open up again and go to restaurants. Would you be able to train some of these managers or whomever in the restaurants with these new regulations as far as, social distancing and masks and gloves and things like that?
Yes, we're going to have to really go out there and start spreading the word. Once the governor decides to open the state, we've got to find out what he wants us to put in place. And obviously, they tell us the minimum. They don't tell us how to do it. So it's basically, is everybody going to wear a mask? What else are we going to do? We're going to start cleaning and sanitizing things that we never did before. I think the people who actually work in the kitchen have a good handle on the personal hygiene part of it. I think it's going to be a lot of new training for the front of the house that's going to have to be done. So we're just going to have to wait and see what the governor comes up with.
And, just to get your opinion, what do you think is going to be some safe regulations when it comes to in-house dining?
Well, I know they're going to want to see that social distancing. So whether they're going to remove tables, remove chairs at tables, I don't know. Things like menus, I can see them, a lot of places, if they have the type of menu that can be cleaned, having to disinfect them on a regular basis, or people might go to a one-page menu rather than a multi-page, maybe paper that's disposable. We really don't know what to expect. This is something new. We're just going to have to learn as we go along.
And typically, who hires you? Is it the owner or the manager, the head chef? Who would hire you to come and train their staff?
Usually I get a call from the owner or whoever the chef, the food safety manager in the kitchen would hire me. I have a good reputation out there, so through word of mouth, I get phone calls or people go out to my website. And because I'm a small business, I'm very flexible. My schedule works with theirs. So I tend to have a lot of classes on Monday and Tuesdays. That's when restaurants are usually slower, and they can let people out to go to classes. But it's usually the owner or the certified manager in the kitchen himself that would actually make the phone call to call me. Though I do have people who call me and then they'll say, I'm going to go tell my boss. So, it works out that way too.
Okay. Now, as we get to open, what steps would you recommend to servers and bartenders as far as hygiene? In between customers, in between, what would you recommend they do?
Well, they're going to have to learn to wash their hands a lot more than they have been. Bartenders tend to wash their hands more often than servers, but I think I think a lot of it's going to be public perception too. The people in the kitchen, they're very aware of all this anyways, because they've been doing it all along, but I think it has to come out to the front of the house more so now. And that's what people are going to be observing. What people washing their hands, people covering their mouth when they cough or sneeze. Those are the things that the public sees. So a lot of it's going to be PR.
Well, I think some of the regulations are probably going to be, the servers are going to have to wear face masks. I'm not sure about the gloves. what do you change? They're saying right now not to wear gloves to the grocery store because it's just a waste. What about a server or a bartender? Would they have to change in between each customer or client?
No, they're better off washing their hands. 20-second hand wash. People don't understand how important that 20-second hand wash is. And people wash their hands, and I emphasize this in class. They think, okay, the soap, the hot water, the friction, that's enough. But it's really the 20 seconds that plays a big part in this, because if you only do a 5-second hand wash, there aren't too many germs going down the drain. But if you do a full 20-second hand wash, that's what it's all about. How many germs can we get down the drain? And in 20 seconds, you can get a lot down the drain. So you really don't have to be wearing gloves. Just make sure you wash your hands often enough and know when to wash your hands.
Well, I believe that the public is the one who benefits the most from a lot of your classes, because it is teaching the food safety and in temperature ranges and things like that. Who else would benefit from taking some of your classes?
Well, I always believe that an owner should take the class, because if the owner isn't certified in food safety, he doesn't know if the people in the kitchen are doing the right thing. So I firmly believe that I think anybody who works in food safety, they shouldn't just have one person certified or two people. I personally believe that if they all took some kind of a food safety class, then everybody would be on the same page.
Yeah, and that rolls down from the management all the way down, and making good examples, and for them to do the exact same thing that they're asking, their servers, their bartenders, their wait staff to do, I think is very important. Is there any other tips or tricks that you'd like to share with us today?
Well, the one thing I can really emphasize is washing your hands. Whether we had a pandemic going on or not, I always emphasize that in class. You can never wash your hands enough. When I'm out doing inspections, I actually have hand cream in the car, because I wash my hands at every single hand sink that's in a kitchen. That's the only way I can check to make sure there's soap, hot water, and paper towels there. So I'm constantly washing my hands. And I think if the public did that too, just wash your hands. If you ever walk by a sink, I tell the people in the kitchens, you walk by a sink, wash your hands.
What type of penalties are involved if an inspector goes into an eating establishment and there is nobody there that is food safety certified? Is there fines? Is there closures? What are the consequences?
They can do both. They could fine you. They could close you down. You don't have a certified manager, they have the right to close you down. I believe that when they apply for a license, a business license with the health department, it specifically says that they have to uphold and abide by the food code. And if the food code says you have to have a certified food safety manager, yeah, they could turn around and there could be a hefty fine involved too. I've had
now, those regulations, those are for eat-in restaurants. What about things like a food truck or something like that? Do they need to be certified as well?
Oh yeah. Anybody who serves food, anybody who cooks food has to have somebody certified. A food truck is basically a commercial kitchen, but on a smaller scale. So think about the size of a kitchen in a brick and mortar building, and then take that and put it in a truck, because that's exactly what it is. It's a moving kitchen.
So then let's expand a little bit on something you said earlier. You're branching out a little bit with your business. Somebody wants to open up a restaurant. They want to open up a coffee shop. They could call you and consult with you. You can help them pick out a space, tell them what they're going to need, things like that.
Absolutely. When somebody tells me they have a dream, they want to open their own business, I'll spend quite a bit of time just brainstorming with them, asking them questions like, where do you want to have your business? What do you want to serve? How do you want to present it? And then from there, if they already have a place that they've picked out that they want to rent or buy, then I'll take a look at it, and then we'll sit down and we'll do a sketch of I'll tell them where they should have their equipment set up, where all their plumbing and electrical should be. And they usually these young kids, they just can go to their computers and draw up a blueprint, and then they can submit it to the health department.
Oh, that's awesome. Dottie, I know that you do a tremendous job for our members. You get rave reviews every time that you do the classes here at our office, and I know that you do them at a couple of other chambers of commerce as well. Is there anything that you'd like to leave us with today?
Well, I'm just hoping this pandemic is over with and people take it seriously, so that a lot of the businesses can reopen. I think because they've been closed for a few weeks now, once they reopen, they've got to go through and check to make sure they didn't have any little four-legged diners come in while they were closed. Put it mildly. Just do some real sanitation cleaning before they get started again. I mean, this would be the perfect time for places to get in and do some deep cleaning while they're closed. They can get a lot done when they're not preparing food. So I think this would be a good time for them to get in their kitchens and get it back up to where it was the day they opened. And then hopefully after that, they'll be out there making money.
Well, awesome. Dottie, thank you for joining me today on the show. For you folks that are interested or need to get some classes, you can reach Dottie through her website or reach out to the Chamber of Commerce, the United Regional Chamber of Commerce. We'll gladly put you in touch with Dottie. And thank you all for joining us today. We hope everybody stays safe and wash your hands, as Dottie said. Thanks for being with us today.
Okay, thanks, Jack.